The Weissenhof estate was built for an exhibition of the Deutscher Werkbund, a German association of architects, designers, and industrialists. After the style-linguistic crisis of the 19th century in architecture, the beginning of the 20th century was marked by the urgency to find a new language, independent from the traditional limitations and rules. Modern formal principles, developed by the Bauhaus and others, formed the basis of the Werkbund exhibition, which took place in the summer of 1927 in Weissenhof, a suburb of Stuttgart. The Weissenhof estate had 21 buildings overall, designed by 17 respected European architects. Among them Le Corbusier, Walter Gropius, and Bruno Taut. The architects were selected by Miss van der Rohe, who was in charge of the project on behalf of the city. The completion of the Weissenhof estate marked the start of an exhibition based around the ideas of reducing costs, simplifying housekeeping, and improving living conditions. But in fact, each of these houses was customized and furnished on a budget far out of a normal worker's reach, and with little direct relevance to the technical challenges of standardized mass construction at the time. The houses were instructed to have a common language, simple facades, flat roofs, and painted mainly white. At the time, the architecture was controversial. It pitted open-minded against conservative forces, flat roof against gable roof, and modernism against tradition. Focusing on three of the most influential and most studied projects of the Weissenhof estate, we will be taking a look at the use of innovative materials and techniques from a new point of view. Through the new constructive systems, Le Corbusier enunciates the 5 points of his new proposal. The free plan and the free facade base themselves on the structural skeleton, and the other 3 points, pilotis, roof garden, and the horizontal window, are derived from those. In House 13 he created a contrast between the big space where you live all day with good air quality and natural light, and the small spaces for the rest of the house affairs. In Houses 14 and 15 the same optimization is achieved by using movable elements. During the day it serves as a living room, for the night it has been converted into sleeping cabins with sliding walls. The goal in using low-cost and lightweight materials was not to reduce cost or resources, but to dedicate the resources to complete the concept. He stated,
"Our program had nothing to do with breaking records for cheap housing, but with presenting you house types that reflect the technical and architectural advances that we have made in recent years."
The idea of packing 24 flats into a single building in a suburban settlement seemed wrong to many people at the time. Although the exterior gives the impression of standardized units and rows, Miss made up for this with a system of lightweight internal divisions, so that no two flats are alike. Constructed as an iron framework with brick fillings. Only the staircases, kitchens, and bathrooms are designed as constant rooms. The remaining areas can be flexibly subdivided using non-load-bearing interior walls. Miss van der Rohe's approach for using those innovative techniques was different from Le Corbusier's. He stated,
"The constantly growing diversity of our housing needs demands of great flexibility in the use of the accommodations. Skeleton construction is the most appropriate building system in this case. It would make it possible to rearrange the apartment whenever family circumstances changed without spending a lot of money."
Gropius viewed his two houses 16 and 17 as experimental buildings, in order to build faster, cheaper, and independent of the weather in the future. What could be achieved in settlement construction with large construction machines was to be achieved in prefabrication for the single-family house. As in a modular system, a wide variety of house variants could be built. During the era of National Socialism, the residential estate was described as a cultural disgrace, and 10 houses were destroyed during the Second World. However, the Weissenhof estate has been listed as a heritage site since 1958 and was later classified as a protected monument. Over the years, mass housing projects emerged all around the world, taking influence from the Weissenhof estate's innovative developments. Unlike other designers of the 1920s and 30s, the architects of the Weissenhof estate chose steel as their primary material. While in the early days it was wrought by hand and time-consuming to craft, today's advanced machinery means that it's now possible to create quality metal furniture pieces quickly. Lifting a building over pilots is still used today to promote free spaces, with a stronger connection between the public sphere and the building's private spaces. In the last decades, thanks to improvements in materials and waterproofing systems, roof gardens have become very popular. Using today's prefabricated construction systems can potentially result in less environmental impact from construction, operation, and demolition. Built without today's technology, many modernist homes suffer from leaky roofs at best, and structural instability at worst. The houses had to go through changes in materials or construction in order to better fit the site and climate. For example, the roof terrace in houses 14 and 15 led to leaks, and the home needed frequent repairs. The facades of houses 1 to 4 were clad with polystyrene foam insulation to conform to thermal insulation regulations. The concrete and steel frame construction has led to serious rainwater leakage. The gas-fired central heating in House 17 turned out to be very expensive to run and had to be replaced. When writing new histories of the Weissenhof estate, one should look into the changes the project had through the years and the reasons they had to be made, questioning whether the reasons behind using those innovative systems are holding to today's environmental standards. Are the efforts of reducing the dwelling's size, while safeguarding a certain quality, relevant? Examine the relationship between the houses and the site, looking at the project as an urban plan and not an individual case study.